It's another fine day, and another question that's been asked me on YouTube from a lot of you would-be plumbers out there, and it's this one. It's to do with metric and imperial pipe. If you're working in a house that's possibly older than 1973, and there's a lot of old houses out there, there's still a good chance that they've got old imperial pipe in there. By that we're talking about copper tube plumbing, and what I'm saying is that 1/2 inch pipe is the same as 15mm. That's no problem. You'll have no problem connecting those two together. Inch, again, it's very close to that size, the metric size that's out there, so you'll have no problem. But when it comes to 3/4 copper tube, and you want to come off of this is where your problems begin, because 3/4 imperial, it doesn't look much, and 22mm copper look the same, but in actual fact there's quite a big difference. There is our metric size, and this is a piece of old imperial. If I look them up, I don't know if you can actually see the size difference, but there is a size difference. So what we're going to do to get around a problem where we can use our metric fittings onto old pipe, because that's a lot smaller. Okay, so I'm going to show you now how we can do it, and also how we can get it metric pipe to come off of an imperial fitting with a tool that I've got here. It still might be available, so I'm going to show you now. So the problem is, if you want to come off of this pipe with a joiner, you may have a soldered coupling, say like this, which will fit lovely on your imperial pipe, but you put your your 22mm pipe, but put your imperial pipe in there and it's flopping around like no tomorrow. And I'll show you why, because if you look, that is just so loose. If you tried to solder that, you'll be very lucky if you get that to seal. I've tried many times, and most times it leaks, so don't bother trying. The only way to get around the problem is to use a compression fitting. So if you do have a bit of pipe you're coming out from on 22mm, get your compression fitting. Now obviously when you put it over, you'll find the olive is a very loose fit. See that? Very, very loose. Now if you try to do that up with just Boss White on there or plumber's paste, that probably won't hold. So there's only one thing you can do, and that's if you've either got hemp, which I doubt you've got, but I know that's not available these days, but the next best thing is some plumber's PTFE tape. Okay, that's this, which put it into a string, okay, and wind it in that direction round your fitting, round the olive. Get the olive in front of the cone and wind it round. Okay, wind it round like that, and that will take up the slack in that fitting. That will then push in. As you can see, that's pushed in there. Now if you want to doubly make sure of it, you can put some more PTF around the back of that cone if you're very unsure. Also make sure you put your paste around there, okay, your waterable soluble paste, and then do the nut up, okay, like so. Do it up with obviously a good pair of grips and you should find you'll be okay. Alright, but that problem's fairly easy, but there is something else. What about if you come up against the pipe not being available? By that I mean, if you want to come off an old imperial fitting like this. This is an old one. This is 3/4. As you can see, it's quite an old fitting. I took off an house a little while ago. So obviously, our metric pipe won't fit in there. It just about fits over that nut because I've got a 22mm nut on there, but it won't go. It won't go in the fitting. You can see it just about enters, and that's it. So what to do? Well, I've got a knack for doing that, and that's this special tool. I'm not sure we can still buy these or not. This is quite old. As you can see, we call it a compression tube compression tool. Okay, I'm not even sure if you can still get them, but basically you put this over your metric pipe, expand it out with these two Allen keys slots here. Can you see them? Okay, so we undo it. I know it's quite an old tool, it's a bit rusty, it doesn't get a lot of wear or use these days, not like it did do, and you put your pipe in there like so. Okay, so your metric pipe goes in there, and fit him in. Open that a bit more. Open him right up. Okay. Right, metric puller in there. Okay. Get it near the end of the tube, and then just crush it down with the Allen key. I say I'm not sure whether you can still get a hold of these, but they are a grand tool. Even though mine's a bit old and rusty, I'll just grind that down for you, and I'll pause it while I do it instead of wasting your time watching it. Right, okay, I've squashed the tube down now, as you can see, with my puller. So I'm going to undo it now. There we go. It's apart. Now that end now should be compressed down to imperial sizes. So this nut should now slide on very easily, which it does. Okay then, guys and girls, we've now compressed our bit of pipe, and there she is. She's squashed down, and we can now find we can put the imperial 3/4 nut on fairly easy. Okay, I know it looks a bit marked around the pipe, but it's one of the consequences of squashing it down. We can't odds that. Now the old imperial ring will go on if you can get it off. If you can get that off the old bit of pipe, it will slide on. I won't push it on, but it will go on. It needs a tap, and just tap the fitting on, it will go on. But more likely you're going to have to use a new nut, a 22mm olive, which you can get as a spare from any plumbing shop. Now obviously when you put that on, you're going to have a bit of playroom there. I don't know if you can see it, it's a bit loose because you squashed it down, okay, using that tool. So, same method as before for using it off the pipe. Get your PTFE, wind it round the pipe so, push your olive against it and push it in the fitting, okay, which will now fit. Now I know I've said about this PTFE and doing that before, but I will show you my preferred option. I'm not keen on PTFE. I'm not even sure we can still get this stuff, but this is what we call hemp in the trade. Yeah, I've still got some of it from my old plumbing days, and this stuff will never leak. You pull so much of it out like so, okay, pull it along, and once again just twist it together, okay, and put your fitting on there. On there. There's your olive all loose and slack. Put it around the front of the olive again. Okay, let's get it round properly, like so. Again, like so. Okay, just about ½ an inch from the end of the pipe. Okay, because that's where about the entrance is going to be. When it's like that, you get your, well, I use Fernox jointing compound, but there's loads of different ones. Portable white jointing compound. And it looks like that in the tin. Stick your finger in the tin, okay, so it's on your finger, and wind it round. So in your finger with the Boss White, and stick it round the stuff. Okay, this makes it nice and moist joint compound for it. I guarantee you, if you use this stuff, tighten the fitting up nice and square, you won't get a leak. Okay, then get your old imperial fitting. And there she is. You can always tell the old ones. Stick it in, it goes straight in, as you can see, and do it up. Okay, I won't go through the process of doing it up, you know how to do that, but you can feel that that's a nice tight solid joint here, and that's a way of getting your new 22mm pipe to fit old 3/4 copper fittings. Okay, and that's probably the best, easiest way out of it, and that's by using this particular tool, if you can manage to find one these days. So I'm not even sure if they're still available, but if they are, try and see if you can get one, or you can get one made up maybe. And that's the tool, and that's the Allen. It's a bit rusty looking, it's been in my garage for some years. Okay, well that's about it. That's a little bit of an instruction on plumbing and how to convert that old 22 imperial, I'll be right, 22 imperial pipe to take metric. That's it. Thanks very much for watching. All of my videos on YouTube, Derrington33 from Al. Thanks for watching.